This episode was short, to say the least, meaning the recap is going to be short. It was mostly an episode all about catch-up between Team RWBY and Junior. There you go, Nora. Y'all can finally be Team Junior. All of them were basically just informing each other about the details of what happened during the time they were all gone and separated from each other. Honestly, I laughed at majority of the episode, but to be fair, I did have a couple of drinks beforehand. The topic of old nicknames comes up, and everyone reflects on how they've changed since they started off at Beacon. They've become more mature and down to earth, except for Nora. She's always been perfect, especially at the dance.
Yes, especially the dance. Thank you, Yang.
Weiss shows off that she can summon perfectly now to everyone, leading to this gag of Weiss summoning the Borbatusk beside Nora's face and scaring her. Yang and Nora arm wrestle to show more of the arm trademark. Yang detaches it and we get to see a gag of Nora screaming and holding an arm that she ripped off.
Oh yeah? Huh?
I found that a couple of lines said in the episode by the six of them were things that a lot of the fandom says about them for all of the seasons, but I feel like that was probably intentional. In the last minute of the episode, we see Mercury, Cinder, Watts, and Emerald all finally catch up at the entrance of the bandits' camp. They walk in looking super badass, and I'm excited to see more of them. I, for one, am excited to see Cinder and Vernell's interaction. I'm also excited to see more of Emerald because we haven't seen her at all, even in the opening, and she's just awesome. Now, I, for one, am glad that we didn't actually have to sit through an entire episode of detailed catch-up. We've already seen it, and I don't want to listen to 1.5 volumes of content again, but this was still kind of a filler episode. Like, I'm really happy that everyone got to be happy again and all together, and I think this is one of my favorite episodes right now because everyone was so happy once, looking at it from a fan perspective. But right now I'm trying to look at it without the fan bias. Like, all we really learned was a bit of Ozpin's story. He was given a large but limited amount of magical abilities. He divided that power up to create the maidens. Cool. He also gave Raven and Crow a small amount of his magic to give them the ability to turn into birds. The explanation may have been more detailed, but we were already able to put together that Ozpin used magic to turn them into birds, as I said in my previous video. This wasn't really any new information, they just more spelt it out for us at this point. On the bright side, we did kind of get new information about the maidens, as previously said. See, I always assumed that the light and dark gods created the maidens, but I guess not. I don't actually know how to expand on the maiden thing. I think what I said already was pretty straightforward. Ozpin created them by using his magic. Really, nothing else happened in the episode, then I can't think of anything else to elaborate on. They were all super happy and nothing bad happened minus Cinder and Co showing up at Raven's doorstep, but even that wasn't really bad, they just showed up. Sure, bad things are gonna happen next episode, but nothing happened in this one. Speaking of, this episode, everyone was super happy and cheerful. Next episode, I expect shit to go down. I need more stuff that will drive the plot forward. When is Ilya gonna distract Blake so the White Fang can kill her parents? I want to see that. At this moment, the only thing I can think of that the main characters are going to be doing that's in Mistral is to go get the Spring Maiden, and maybe they're going to end up meeting up with Cinder and the rest of that team. Maybe there's going to be a small fight. It'll probably be like the season finale, though. At this moment, judging by how everything's looking, I'm more invested in Blake's story because I want to see what's going to happen with Ilya and the White Fang and her parents. Adding this in post-editing quick, at the end of the episode, Ozpin says that everybody has a choice. Granted, he was talking about how Crow and Raven presumably willingly took on the power to turn into birds, but then he gave the rest of them the choice to leave the war, so this is relevant now. Everybody has a choice, he says, but he didn't really give the hunters who went to the schools much of a choice to fight in his war until now. Sure, he gave Pyrrha a choice whether or not to take on Amber's powers, but he had to have known that she would have done it because of who she was as a person. She wanted to be able to help everyone and stop the war, so she agreed to take on the powers, no matter what would have happened to her. And look what happened to her. I don't really trust Ozpin. The trust I had in him has slowly been fading ever since Volume 3. He started to seem kind of suspicious to me by the end of the volume. I feel like he's preying on the fact that the hunters and huntresses, at least RWBY and Ranger in this scenario, are more selfless people and they want to help in any way that they can. I'm not explaining this properly at all, but hopefully you understand what I mean. In such a large-scale war like this, where the circumstances are either fight and you may live, or don't fight and you'll die, it's obvious what the protagonist would choose, and I think Ozpin's using this mentality against them. Well, I have nothing else to say. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, it really boosts my self-esteem. Please make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell to see these every week. See you guys then.
And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow.